Hi, Neil Gittleman here, Artistic Director and Conductor of your Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra. That was a little bit of the beginning of a beautiful piece by the Estonian composer Arvo Pärt, a piece called Spiegel im Spiegel, which is German for mirror in a mirror. You know, like when you have mirrors facing each other and you see the hallway of mirrors going off into infinity. It's a piece that Pärt wrote in the late 1970s. I think it was originally for violin and piano, and he's rearranged it for many different combinations. The version I have is for cello and piano, and I was just kind of fitting the cello part and the piano part together as best I could. Just an incredibly beautiful piece, calm. Maybe it came to mind because I sort of feel a little bit calm today after some very busy days. We just had our first concert back in the theater with a live audience a couple of days ago. It was a big success. The orchestra playing Florence Price's Second Violin Concerto with Jessica Hung, our concertmaster, as soloist, and then Beethoven's Eighth Symphony. We had, I don't know, I'm not good with crowds, but maybe 100 or so people in each of the two shows. The live stream came off okay, and we're working, in fact, as soon as I finish, I'm going back upstairs to work on the post-production for the on-demand stream, which is going to come online just in a couple of days. So it was a very successful and wonderful weekend, and feeling just a little bit calmed as a result of that, I suppose. I first came across the music of Arvo Pärt way back. I had my very first professional job as assistant conductor of the Oregon Symphony, and I was driving around town one day doing errands, listening to the classical music station on the radio. That shows you how many years ago it was, because nowadays if I was driving around doing errands, I'd have podcasts on. But it was classical music on the radio, and I heard this piece of music. It was one of those, you know, driveway moments. I heard this piece of music I'd never heard before, and it was like the most incredibly beautiful thing I had ever heard. And so I sat in the car in the driveway waiting to find out what it was, and it turned out it was a piece by Arvo Pärt, a composer I'd never heard of, called Tabula Rasa, for two violins, a concerto for two violins and string orchestra and prepared piano, which means a piano that has got stuff attached to the strings to make the sounds come out differently. And it was just one of the most incredible things I'd ever seen. And instead of getting out of the car and going into the house, I stayed in the car, turned it back on, drove to, this is another thing which will tell you how long ago it was, drove to the record store and found the record that had Tabula Rasa on it, drove back home, put it on the turntable, and spent the rest of the day listening to that and other amazing pieces by Arvo Pärt. And he's been one of my favorite composers ever since. So a little bit of Spiegel im Spiegel there. I said things are calm today. They get busy again right away because the Philharmonic and I will be just tonight going back onto the Schuster Center stage to start working on our next project, which is a really exciting one. It's another streaming only project. It's a young people's concert. We usually do 2 young people's concerts a year. Obviously that's not working this year because schools are all messed up by the COVID virus, and we of course have been messed up too. But we will be rehearsing and performing a young people's concert, which will feature the orchestra and a singer from Dayton Opera and the ballet company. The theme of the program is Dream World and Real World, and it's a reflection of the times that we're in, about composers and artists reacting to what they experience in the real world, reacting with their art, and how sometimes that art reflects the real world and sometimes they go into a dream world because that's where we'd rather be. And so it seemed like a kind of apropos theme to explore with the kids, and we'll be working on that the next few days, and then it will become available for streaming in March, and it'll be streamed directly to homeschool families and also to schools. So if you are a homeschool family, or if you have a kid in school, or if you're a teacher and you'd like to get access to this stream, best thing to do is to contact Ruth Reveal at the Dayton Performing Arts Alliance. Ruth is our Director of Education, and she will help you get hooked up with this stream when it's ready in, I think it's going to be the middle of March that it's released. But it'll be wonderful. It's got great music on it, music by Mozart and Shostakovich and Brahms and Bizet and Ravel. A really fun show. So that's the next thing we dive into. Spiegel and Spiegel, I can only play a little bit of it because it's about a 10-minute piece of music. But I'll go to the last page and play you a little bit of that as we finish this Piano Bench chat, and I'll see you next week for the next one, which I think will be number 47. Yikes.